My name is Vincent with Ronin Auto Spa, and today I'd like to clear up some misconceptions about detailing and ceramic coatings that you might have heard or read somewhere across the internet, because there's a lot of misconceptions. So without further ado, let's dive right into it. So let's talk about ceramic coatings. I just dropped my phone. So let's talk about ceramic coatings. Ceramic coatings are, in layman's terms, imagine like a wax-like product, even though it's nothing like a wax. Imagine a wax that lasts, 2 to 3 years, some 5 years, some 10 years. And a lot of the times I get asked, do ceramic coatings actually last that long? And the answer is absolutely. However, they last that long under the perfect circumstances. If your car gets washed regularly and lives inside, primarily, then the ceramic coating is gonna last as long as it's advertised. If you leave the car outside, neglect it, don't wash it for 6 months at a time, and go to the beach every day, and you wash your car and your hydrophobic properties are gone and you're all confused, well, it's because of your own negligence. So that's just something to really keep in mind when it comes to ceramic coatings, is that after you get the coating, it's not necessarily like, oh, this is an end all be all, everything's fine. It's a tool to help you maintain the vehicle, and you still have to maintain the vehicle. If anything, you have to maintain it better than you did before you got the ceramic coat, just to make sure the coating lasts. So that's the first thing. The two other things I'd really like to talk about are water spots and swirl marks. These are some of my favorite topics because some brilliant people with OCD got on the internet and said, you know what, these water spots and swirl marks all over my car, I have a problem with it, I'm gonna make it everyone else's problem, and that became an entire industry. So when it comes to swirl marks, what are they? Swirl marks are just micro scratches. It is literally like little things of dirt brake dust, anything and everything, being rubbed in between the car and your mitt. And when that happens, you create a swirl mark. It creates a micro abrasion, like a little scratch. Just think of it as a micro scratch. It's literally a micro scratch. That's what swirl marks are. So, if the surface can be scratched like that, it's obviously not all that hard to begin with, you know what I mean? So what I'm trying to say is, when it comes to preventing swirl marks, it really doesn't matter what you put on your car. I mean, we can talk about paint protection film, but that's like a whole different ball game. I'm mainly referring to ceramic coats. You can put anything on your car as far as ceramic coating goes, and if you have something that is microns thick, protecting something that's already porous and soft for the most part, and it's not gonna do anything as far as preventing scratches go. The only thing you can do to prevent scratches, and this is where ceramic coats come into play, is through encapsulation and lubrication. Lubrication meaning a bunch of soap, a ton of soap, and encapsulation meaning water beading. Because if the dirt can be encapsulated into a water droplet, the chances of it flying off the car are a lot higher than if it was just sheeting everywhere and water was sticking to the car over the dirt. So what we want with encapsulation and lubrication is the dirt basically flying off through encapsulated beads, and or just kind of coming off, on its own, because there's a coating in the way, and lubrication helping with that too, helping all the dirt slide off. So to wrap all that up, in order to prevent swirl marks, you're gonna want to get as much dirt off of the car as possible and kind of be as soft with it as you can. And that's pretty much what you can do when it comes to swirl marks. Okay, now for water spots. Water spots has become one of my favorite topics to talk about because of how controversial I feel like it's been, and not just the detailing industry, but also on a customer to detailer basis. It's been very difficult to explain what the hell a water spot is. It's been very difficult to explain how to prevent them, because when ceramic coatings first came out, they were advertised, and in some cases still advertised, to prevent water spots. And you'll actually find these detailers here and there, they're kind of everywhere, who swear up and down to every god that ever existed that their ceramic coating protects against water spots because it's better than everybody else's. And that's funny because what are they doing? Are they selling you their ego, or are they selling you a product that is actually going to help you? Just debate on that the next time you talk to somebody for any service. Anyway, let's get back to water spots. So what is a water spot? Let's just say you have water. Water has a ton of stuff in it. It has mineral deposits, it has freaking dirt, it's got amoebas, it's got bacteria, viruses, it's got all types of stuff, okay? So I have this water with all this stuff in it, mainly like, calcium deposits. And I drop it on the car, and it's hot outside. It's, we're in Florida, so, you put it on the car, it evaporates almost immediately, and you're left with the remnants of the spot. But what are they? It is the mineral deposits and everything else that was in that water now without the water. And because it was the shape of water, since water just does its own thing, it's all that stuff is now in the shape of a water spot, or, whatever shape the water was in on your car. So you don't actually have water on your car, you have what was in the water on your car. Okay, so now that we understand what a water spot is, let's talk about how ceramic coats absolutely do not prevent water spots. But before that, let's talk about why they could help prevent water spots in some cases. In some cases, when you're in a shaded area and your water is, somewhat filtered, or you're just using DI water, and you have all the encapsulation, like we talked about before with the water beading, your car can move water so much easier on the surface, and you can blow it right off, and there's not really a problem. That is where the prevention comes in. The prevention of, okay, well, all of these little water beads that would make spots come off easier, and since they're coming off easier, screw it. They prevent water spots, right? It's not entirely the case. There's a conflicting perspective in the industry that would actually argue that the water spot in itself creates a greenhouse effect inside of the water before evaporation, which means that whatever temperature is outside of the water spot, because of that greenhouse effect, it would actually create a hotter surface inside the water spot and then evaporate faster. So you kind of have to put this in perspective. No matter what kind of coating you have on your vehicle, if you have spots with, sprinkler water, if you have any kind of anything with a ton of contamination or mineral deposits inside of that water, it's going to be left on the surface, no matter what. It's because even if you put like a ceramic coat, PPF, another ceramic coat, and then, goes on and goes on, the problem then is that the mineral deposits are now etching into that surface, because believe it or not, they're kind of abrasive. And not only are they abrasive, they have a chemical reaction with any surface you freaking put it onto, even if that surface is pH resistant. So, or chemical resistant, I should say, maybe both. But anyway, that is where the conflicting perspectives come into play, and what I like to tell people when they ask if ceramic coatings actually protect against water spots, because on one hand, it makes your car easier to dry. So yeah, sure. Yeah, some, people can advertise that, and, people advertise for their egos, and they're like, yeah, no, come with me because I'm the best. Not for what they can do for you, but because it's them. In my case, I have over a decade of experience. I have used several coatings. I have seen cars that I have coated 10 years ago, literally, with a 2-year coat that they maintain perfectly, that the customer maintained perfectly, and it still looks like I did it yesterday. There are other people who get ceramic coatings, and within 4 months, their ceramic coat fails. And it's like, okay, who's the problem at that point? That's when these questions and these answers come into play. Because, it's a lot of people, they do something, they're like, yeah, this is perfect, forever, awesome. They don't talk about the good and bad and the ugly. And I feel like it's really important as a business owner to the consumer, to kind of educate you on these concepts so that you have a better understanding of what you're actually reading online. Because with any industry, whether you're looking up stocks, whether you're looking at real estate investing, whether you're looking up, detailing or how to tie your freaking shoe, there's always someone or a group of people who are like, no, we do it the best, we do it better. And when that happens, they are not telling you the information for you. They are saying it for themselves and how it makes them feel based off of how your interpretation will be. And in my case, with this decade of experience, And with the fact that I can kind of put my shame aside and be like, I have the experience. I've dealt with customers who have maintained their coatings perfectly. I've dealt with people who have maintained their coatings horrendously. And I've also dealt with people who are in between. And honestly, from a customer standpoint, I'm one of the in-between people. I focus so much on everyone else's car, sometimes I don't make time for my car. And so the ceramic coatings that I put on my car don't perform as well. Let's say, like, there's a customer of mine, he has an entire fleet of vehicles I've done for him 5 years ago, 2-year coatings 5 years ago, and every single one looks and acts like I just did it yesterday. So with that being said, that experience has me wanting to share with potential customers and even just people who are curious these concepts and kind of like how to interpret them a little differently, because it's not always so black and white, especially when it comes to the detailing industry in itself.